Hey guys, Rinswim with the One here again. Today I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that should help you dominate the battlefield, particularly for attrition, but much of what I'm going to say can be applied to the other game types as well. In order to do that, I'm going to be talking over a recent game I played that I think really captures the proper way to play attrition. I just wanted to pass along that information to you guys. On top of that, I'm going to be giving you lots of tips for improving your game all around. So if you're not interested in learning about attrition in particular, then I at least recommend you stick around for that. For this video, I had some games that I could have picked where I've gone without dying the whole time. And I thought about showing you one of those videos, but I realized that's not really a realistic goal for everyone I want this video to reach. Nor is it even really that typical of what I do every game. So I figured it's probably best to use a game where I made some mistakes, and that way I can point out to you what I did wrong, and hopefully you can avoid making the same bad choices that I make. So with that being said, let's get started. Real quickly, I just want to say make sure you don't forget to use your burn cards. Here I'm using the Amped 101C. So right off the bat, the first thing I usually do is I look for the nearest wall that I can run on, and that way I can quickly build speed off of it, get some momentum going. Because for almost every map, I usually pick a side to push through as quick as I possibly can. So either the left or right side, but I almost never go up the middle of a map right at the beginning because that tends to be what most people do, and a lot of the time you'll just end up dying sooner than you really should have. I paused the video here because I want to show you why what I do is effective. So like I was saying, I either go left or right, and this time I went left. And I meet one guy head on, but after that I run into all kinds of his buddies, and I'm able to score an easy kill on one and land some damage on another because I've effectively flanked them. So I make pretty quick work of these first two guys, and I catch a glimpse right there of the guy running through that hallway across the street, or the road that I just threw the grenade into. So I think it's clear. I let my guard down and he kills me. So make sure if you see someone passing through a passageway like that, that you don't let your guard down too much like I just did, because I shot at the guy, so I should have known that he was going to come back for me, or at least suspected that he might. Unfortunately, I stopped paying attention and just tried to go for the cheap grunt kills, and I had to pay for it. Okay, in this section coming up here, I'm just going to pause the video and highlight the mini-map, which is incredibly important, and you should not undervalue how useful it is. In a second, I'm about to shoot a grunt down below, but I'm also going to notice right after this guy right here on the mini-map, because thankfully I remembered my basics, and mini-map is just one of those things that you've got to make basic. You've always got to be looking at it, and here it scores me a pretty easy kill. Real quick, one more cool thing I wanted to show you with the minimap is that it shows you your enemy's elevation relative to yours. So on the minimap here, you can see that this guy has a little white arrow below his red dot. That means that he's below you. If he had a white arrow above his red dot, that means he's above you. So cool little trick there if you didn't know what that means. This next part, I'm about to die because, well, that guy just had pretty much a straight up better position on me. He had some cover and I was wide out in the open. I shouldn't have even engaged him. I should have just dropped down into cover and tried to either reposition myself somewhere where that I had more cover, or just looked for another fight, because that guy clearly had a terrain advantage on me. Here I'm just trying to mop up some pretty easy kills. As you can see, I called my Titan in. No real advice on when you should call your Titan in. I usually do it as soon as I get it, just because if you don't really feel like getting in it, you can at least let it come down and do some work as the auto Titan for you, because it will get some kills as an auto Titan. It's not completely worthless. Again, I'm just kind of going through trying to mop up kills, because one of the first people to get my Titan, but everyone else is literally just a few minutes behind, or a few seconds behind me, so now they're getting theirs too. So here's the first thing I want to point out with the Titan. I'm fighting an auto Titan right now, but notice I'm kind of staying near these boxes to my right, The reason I'm doing that is when I get overcrowded, like I am right now, see this all this backup showing up, I can break their line of sight by getting behind these boxes. You don't want to stand out in the open. I know that's pretty common sense, but honestly, I think people feel a little tougher than they really are in the Titans. You're really not as strong armor-wise as you think you are, so make sure you always have some cover nearby to use. I'll pause the video here to show you a trick I kind of adopted from my buddy Fire. With this trick you can go into cover and still shoot your opponent. It requires the homing missiles, which honestly I don't find super useful, but they're kind of nice sometimes. I don't use them much anymore. But if you like the homing missiles, this is a really cool trick. So keeping in mind what I said about always wanting cover nearby, here's how you can combine the two. So you're going to see that I get a lock on this guy, and as soon as I do, I'm going to go into cover and aim my crosshair up over top of this cover. And that way the missiles are actually going to arc over top of the cover and home in on him. So I'm firing from complete safety while he's taking damage from my missiles. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, I get rodeoed while I'm distracted with this Titan. And at that exact moment, this guy, you see on the kill cam there, he just creeps up at the perfect moment to catch me as I jump out of my Titan to kill the guy who's rodeoed me. Just bad luck there. That happens occasionally in the game. And there's multiple tactics to deal with a rodeoed, or a pilot rodeoing you. You can, ask for help from a teammate nearby, or you can get out and engage them, or you can try and trick them. You've probably heard of that trick. If not, you just crouch and slowly look down, and it'll fool whoever's rodeoing you, hopefully, into thinking that you're going to get out, but you don't really. Another cool trick here, get shot in the back there, know this guy's going to pursue me because he's got me weak, call in my Titan and crush him with it, because he's just too aggressive and not suspecting that Titan coming down on him. So, pretty cool trick there. That's just kind of neat. You don't need to practice that. It's just kind of just me encouraging being creative, I guess, showing you that. I didn't really know if that was going to work or not, but thankfully it did. But that doesn't really have a high success rate. Here I just got overwhelmed by other Titans. I probably overextended is why that ended up happening. Here I'm just using my environment to my advantage. Notice how I'm staying high even though I'm in the open. I'm sticking to these walls on the side so I can get a lot of elevation. And right there I just got two really easy martial arts kills or whatever. I kicked both those guys because I stayed high. Because a lot of players tend to not look up for some reason. Like, even though they know that this game's all about wall running and double jumping. Kind of hilarious here. I lagged out just in time to get killed by that guy. Bitch about it in chat a little bit, just having some fun. But yeah, I mean, verticality is your friend in this game. Make sure you're constantly, trying to stay elevated. Just be aware of your surroundings. Just because you're not up on the rafters while running doesn't mean someone else isn't. So, I'm telling you to make sure you stay elevated, but make sure you're making sure that you're watching other people as well, because maybe they're being smart and staying elevated and you're down on the ground and you have no clue. They're just going to get the drop on you 9 times out of 10 if you're not looking for them. So be careful with that. Okay, here again, I've overextended a little bit. I don't know, I was just really aggressive this game, but I've got a different tactic this time. I'm sticking to my boxes like usual. My cover over here, but I've actually got an escape plan this time. So look, I'm overwhelmed, and so I know I've got this hallway back here I can escape down that my enemies kind of have to funnel through. So I just use this tunnel to back out slowly, using my vortex shield occasionally, and this guy goes nuclear, so look where I go. I dash away quickly, but look where I'm standing right now. I moved somewhere that has a roof directly over my head. That way the pilot who just ejected from that Titan I doomed can't land on top of me and rodeo me. Because that's what a lot of pilots tend to do, is they just try and land on a nearby Titan as soon as they eject. From here you can see that I safely watch him land and then I get the kill. So definitely a good strategy to use. if there's nearby cover, because you don't want to get rodeoed. Here's just a pretty sweet shot. I land on that guy. You know, we're in the bonus here, the little evacuation round. Here, I paid attention to my minimap again and saw that guy in there, heard him through my headphones as well. So I just fired some shots in there and let the splash damage of the 40mm take care of him. Didn't kill him, but I got the assist. But yeah, I guess that will pretty much do it for this tutorial, or whatever you want to call it, tips and tricks. I got a little off topic. I didn't talk about his attrition as much as I wanted to specifically, but hopefully you all took away something good from this. If you enjoyed this video, you know, I'd appreciate a like on it. I definitely will continue to produce content like this if you want it, so if you want to stay up to date, the best way to do that is just subscribe to me here on YouTube. Anyways, I had a good time teaching you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed what I was teaching, so thanks again.